Same way I will also be available if you are initiating a case to support you.
You have to be.
Now this is a disposable. Here you can see there is two small holes, and here there is two pins.
ठीक है.
So you have to lock these two in. Once you have kept it, just rotate it anti-clockwise, so it will get locked. Now, if you want to
Unlock also.
if you want to unlock it, you have a button here.
अच्छा.
Just click on this and rotate it clockwise. Unlock.
जब तक आप वो बटन नहीं दबाएंगे ये निकलेगा.
निकलेगा.
इसे सेफ्टी
Yes,
मैकेनिज्म.
safety mechanism. Sir, you just need to align those. So there is two knobs. One is here, one is this side. Make sure both are aligned. Yeah.
Good.
This is how you fix it. Now once you have fixed it, you need to connect the blender to the machine. Blender. This is the blender. The oxygenator should have a gas supply, right? So these two will go to the central supply. Through one comes the oxygen, other comes the
ये
sweet.
सिलेंडर में भी रख सकती हैं.
Cylinder, when that is for transportation or in such situation where we use only an oxygen cylinder. Such situation we have a place for fixing the oxygen cylinder. You can place the cylinder here, and this will be connected to the cylinder. We have a dedicated tubing for that.
ये सिलेंडर से लग के आएगी.
This will come with the four things will come with
टेम्परेरी
it.
सॉल्यूशन. इसमें दो क्यों हैं?
One is for oxygen and other is for air. Sweep.
तो यूज क्या करेंगे?
Sir, if you want to remove, you need to oxygenate it. You will provide oxygen. But if you want to remove carbon dioxide, you'll have to seep out it. So one
एक
is
से
for
निकलेगा एक में जाएगा.
नहीं. Through one oxygen will come.
हाँ.
Through other one sweep will come. So air. So in the blender, you will titrate it. For example, if the patient's oxygenation is less, you can increase
अच्छा,
FiO2 and give this.
okay, that's
If the patient
Okay. It is
carbon
basically
dioxide
to
has-
titrate the FiO2.
Yeah, FiO2 and sweep gas. If the CO2 is high, you can increase the sweep, though, so the CO2 removal will increase. So once you have the supply coming in, titrated, the titrated gas should reach into the oxygenator, and that will be done through this line. Not an issue. Yes. You can use a clamp or something and remove it later. So this will be connected here. So now the gas will come into the oxygenator. Gas supply.
ये कहाँ कनेक्ट होगा? ये पीछे जहाँ.
ये यहाँ पे connected है. This thing will come
अच्छा.
connected. You just need to connect it here and this end
ठीक.
here.
Yeah, but this you said was an adapter for the cylinder.
So this is for gas supply.
नहीं ये गोल क्या है? वाइट.
This is a filter. Air filter.
अच्छा.
So this is for the
सिलेंडर कैसे?
सिलेंडर यहाँ पे रखोगे आप.
हाँ.
सिलेंडर के ऊपर होगा वो नॉब. उसके एंड में जो टिप आएगा वो यहाँ पे लगेगा.
फुल क्यों नहीं है?
This same.
कौन से निकले? प्लास्टिक है सर. जैसे कि एक चीज निकाली उन्होंने एक निकाला था मैं दिखाता हूँ.
Got it.
Like one end will be connected.
ऐसा
One
क्या
end
है
will be
सर?
connected here.
रबड़ क्या है भाई?
We have
Fix
other
it.
end.
वैक्यूम बन गया.
Other end will be connected into the if you are not having a central supply.
Okay.
For example, if you are transporting or going somewhere, in such situation you can use a cylinder. If you are
ओनली एयर ऑक्सीजन.
only oxygen,
उसमें फिर हम एडजस्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे.
उसमें you can only adjust the
अच्छा
oxygen
नॉब से कर सकते हैं.
in the cylinder.
सिलेंडर.
सिलेंडर
That red knob is.
It's not red knob, it's actually a cap.
एक
We need to
मंगवा
remove.
लो ना, आर्टरी क्लैम्प मंगवा लो उधर से.
As it's a new machine, it comes here.
सेंट्रल क्लैम्प होगा, सेंट्रल सप्लाई होगा, तो ये यहाँ से
यहाँ
कनेक्ट
लगेगा,
हो
yes.
जाएगा ना, टर्न करोगे.
हाँ.
ठीक है, आगे
जैसे
चलो.
वो कैप निकली थी वैसे ही.
आगे आगे बताओ.
So this is for gas. Now next thing is for as I said, the blood temperature is also regulated. That is using the heater unit machine. So we need to connect the heater unit machine into the oxygenator.
Okay, connect.
Now, okay, this is also packed.
This is heat regulator.
So these are two Henson connector. You can remove it like this.
Okay.
You just pull it backward, it will come out. This is just to connect these two while you are not using it. Now these two will come into the lower sides. Now I don't have enough length. I will just remove and show you. The same connector you had here, connector you have it here. So one end will come.
Anyone?
Yeah, it's not like any direction, particular direction. How it works is that there is water inside this. You can add water through here. There will be an indicator in the front side.
So each and every time we have to check
No,
this.
you have to check it. For
We have to
example,
check.
once you have put the water, 700 to 1.4 is the maximum. You have to keep it between this.
Normal slide.
No, just water. No electrolytes or anything.
Tap around using tap water.
RO if possible.
RO.
No electrolytes, anything should be there. Just
This is good question.
Sterile water or
Distilled water we can use.
yeah, distilled water.
Distilled water we
We
can
have
use.
supply.
where do you put it?
Yes.
Open it.
तो ये तो सब पहले ही करके रख लेना है ना इसको
Yeah.
जब भी यूज करना है
तो
उससे
जैसे
पहले ही
डिसाइड
planning
करा
की-
तो हमको शुरू करना पड़ेगा ना सब काम करना.
What is the capacity of this?
1.4. 1.4 liters.
ये सब वेंटिलेटर में ह्यूमिडिफायर का काम करता है शायद वही है.
इसका इंडिकेटर कहाँ होगा वाटर अगर खत्म हो गया तो
See, first thing, water is only recirculating. So खत्म तब होगा कि if there is any leak और हम लगा रहे हो तब.
Once we put it,
Yeah.
we will release it.
तो एक बार यूज किया जब दोबारा इस इक्विपमेंट को यूज करना तो पानी अंदर ही रहेगा फिर
It depends कि आप कितनी frequently use कर रहे हो.
नहीं वो पड़ा रहे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं पानी का
No, it's not recommended to keep
तो फिर
it.
निकालोगे कैसे
You can just open it and circulate.
अच्छा
उससे निकल जाएगा.
वहाँ लगाए बिना बाहर निकाल देना
हाँ.
ये तो हीटिंग का पानी है ना, मतलब वो गर्म हो जाएगा तो उसको
गर्म होगा
बट
वेपर
पानी
वगैरह
वैसे पड़ा
बनेगा
रहेगा ना फिर
गर्म होके वेपर बनेगा कम हो जाएगा
नहीं
Humidifier
ये humidifier नहीं है।
खाली तो होगा
नहीं नहीं इसमें पानी नहीं सर
connected, right?
पावर कनेक्ट कर देना मुझे
Power to power use.
पावर तो नीचे.
Okay, so there is two screens. In one screen, it will show कि इसके अंदर जो पानी है उसका टेम्परेचर क्या है.
ठीक है
In a lower screen, you can set the temperature you need. So
फॉर
for
द ब्लड
what temperature you need for the blood.
For the blood.
For example, if you see that the patient temperature is now 35, you want to make it 37. You can adjust it here.
यहाँ
You
से ऑन है ना.
Yeah.
करो.
तो 35 कहाँ नजर आएगा
See here. This is where
37
what you
कैसे
set.
करेंगे
No sir, 35 will come in the patient monitor. Patient you will be checking the temperature. Temperature probe लगा होगा कहीं.
तो वो तो स्किन का टेम्परेचर होगा ब्लड का थोड़ा होगा
नहीं sir, you will get an average temperature of the patient body.
अच्छा
So if it is dropping 35 or something, or you want to maintain it to 37, such situation set 37 here using this arrows. You can set from 35 to 39.
ये ऑन क्यों नहीं हो रहा?
Maybe the power supply.
A one more cable we have.
Yeah, you have it. They have connected the supply. Sir.
नहीं तो ये तो कनेक्ट कर दिया.
Yes, sir. This is for the device. This will have a separate connection.
इसकी कहाँ केबल?
Cable नहीं था.
ये केबल सेम है तो ये
Cable.
इसको निकाल के नीचे लगा दो
Yeah, we
इसे
have
निकाल के
battery.
नीचे लगा दो
तो इसकी पावर सप्लाई कहाँ है?
ये आई थिंक इट इज ऑन
डेमो
बैटरी
पीस है, ऐसे दो होंगे बेसिकली
तो कहाँ है?
इनका एक ही था अभी यहाँ पे एक ही रखा है.
ये तो ये सब चीजें चेक करनी होंगी ना.
ये हमारा है ये वाला
ये हमारा
इसका
वाला ही
तो
है
ये
ना.
चाहिए होगा I thought ये लेके आए हैं
So now it is 38. You can increase and decrease using
ये
this.
कनेक्ट हो गया.
नीचे वाला
नीचे वाला
ऊपर
connector.
वाला.
ऊपर वाले हैं पावर
उसका
केबल.
ड्रिप केबल है।
ये जो मेरे पावर केबल अपना लेंगे.
नहीं अपना नहीं इनकी
इनका
इसकी
नहीं,
पावर
अभी
सप्लाई
देंगे,
कहाँ
हमें
है?
देंगे. अभी इन्होंने जो सिस्टम
जब तक सारा चेक नहीं होगा, डेमो विद द फुल सिस्टम रनिंग नहीं होगा, वी विल नॉट बी.
पावर केबल का
Ceramic
अच्छा ये तो
फाइन ठीक है आपका टेक्निकल जनाब.
So sir, with using this knob you can set the temperature. For example, if the patient is 35, you want to make it to 37. Now you have made 37. This is the water gauge indicator. This is the minimum you have to keep minimum, and this is the maximum. So now it is giving this alarm because there is no water.
ओके फाइन.
Now once there is water, what happens is that you set 37. This machine will heat the water that is present inside into 37. So once it is 37, the water temperature will be shown here.
नाउ इट
So-
इज वैक्यूम टेम्परेचर
Yeah. So once it becomes 37, what happens is that this 37-degree temperature blood is coming through this side. Now there is
नहीं इसमें पानी है ना, तो
नहीं ये
Blood
पानी
is not-
नहीं है, इसमें ब्लड है।
नहीं
पानी है।
इसमें पानी है
अच्छा इसमें पानी है।
सर ब्लड will only go through the disposable.
Okay,
It will not
only
come.
in that.
I'll just
तो ये वाला सिर्फ वार्म करने के लिए ही पानी
just a
यूज
heater.
होगा। ओके
I'll just
तो
show how
ये
it is.
हीटर ही हुआ ना बेसिकली।
हीटर है।
It's a heater unit.
समझ
Now
गए?
inside the oxygenator there is, as I said, there is a membrane. There is two types of membranes. One is polymethyl pentane. Inside that polymethyl pentane fibers, gas goes. So from one side, as we said, from the blender, gas is coming. Gas goes inside the fiber. Inside the fiber, gas goes, and it is going outside. Now there is another fiber known as polyurethane fibers. In this polyurethane fibers, one side the water comes, water goes inside the fibers, and outside it goes into the machine. So it's like water is coming in, into the fiber it goes, and outlet of the fiber goes
उसका
into
ऑक्सीजनेशन से कुछ लेना देना
लेना नहीं है.
सिंपल मोटी बात होगी। वो
Yeah.
सिर्फ वार्म करने के लिए एक अलग मैकेनिज्म है।
Okay. So
If they
inside,
go-
if you see, there is two membranes and the blood is outside. There is no direct contact between the blood or the gas. Everything is separated by fibers. So what happens is that if you regulate the temperature of the water going inside, now there is 37-degree water inside, and outside there is 35-degree blood. There is a temperature gradient, and based on that, heat exchange will happen.
So
So that is how.
we should keep 37 at any cost.
I know, it depends upon how much you want the patient temperature. If, for example,
If we don't want to regulate patient temperature, then we don't need to connect this.
In case heater is not working, ideally say.
if
See,
heater
in that
is
case,
not available, for example, during transport, if heater is not available, there will not be a very drastic or sudden drop in patient temperature. It will be a,
we can move the patient from our
yeah. With when you are transporting, you will only use this thing. Nothing else will be there. Only this single thing will be
Only for
there.
transport, not for long support.
Yes, sir.
Not for long support.
only for the transport.
For long support, we
Yeah.
need to.
For long support, you will require this because after some time the temperature will gradually slide down, and
Slightly it will
it will
decrease.
decrease. It will
Yeah.
decrease. So you
ठीक है,
know,
ये कनेक्ट हो गया। अब
Okay.
आगे
इसमें इनलेट और आउटलेट
there
अलग
is no
अलग है।
inlet outlet. You just as I said, what is the important thing is that you need to circulate a higher degree.
ठीक है, अब इसको
Yeah, dip-
कनेक्ट कर दो।
You just
You want? heater का काम है।
okay. So we have fixed the oxygenator, we have fixed the gas line, we have fixed the heater unit
ये
lines.
इतना कनेक्ट करो यहाँ से नीचे से घुसाड़
Yeah,
के
we can
और-
take it from here.
अच्छा ठीक ठीक ओके पेंडल
Okay. So heater unit you have done. Other thing is now
हीटर यहाँ लगाया था ना आपने?
यहाँ से
yeah,
नीचे।
ये दोनों.
ये दोनों
ठीक है लग गए। अच्छा ठीक।
Now next thing is, as I said, this disposable has sensors inside. For
Bubble
getting
sensor.
we have bubble sensor. This is for pressure sensing. So this is post membrane. So here the sensor, it will give you the post membrane pressure. Same way here it will give pre membrane pressures. This is the cable which connects all this internal pressure sensor into the machine. So you have to connect this. It will be connected into this white port. There is a white port here. It will be connected into it.
Pin system. We have to check this properly. This is the biggest part because pins always get tilted.
Yeah,
Maybe
that is one
forcefully.
thing. Other thing is, so no one can force it in. So we have a special design.
Show me. This one.
There is a C.
सर्कल है तो इजीली
We are doing our RFA in that we have given these type of ports.
Okay.
ठीक है
So
done।
you have inserted that. Other thing is we have two sensors. One is venous bubble sensor and other is arterial bubble flow sensor.
Marked by red and blue.
Yeah.
Red is arterial, blue is venous.
Now venous sensor we are connecting.
Okay, we have to connect it to
Yeah.
pipe.
While you are connecting the arterial, make sure that the direction is correct. because
वेन में फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
no, this is just for bubble detection. Here both bubble and the flow is detected.
ठीक है.
This is a flow meter also.
Okay.
So if you connect it in the opposite direction, it will show negative
Then the direction must be
towards the
patient. Toward the patient.
yeah connected. Now next thing is there is a yellow.
सर एक बार डिटेक्ट करके लगाइए दोबारा से.
Yeah.
खोलो,
हाँ एक बार खोल के लगाइए.
निकालो,
हाँ, exactly.
एक बार निकालो.
बाहर निकाल के सर.
मुझे दे दो.
चेक करने की तरह लग गया.
ठीक है, समझ गया.
Right? Yeah. Now you have a yellow cap here. This is an dearing board. Now how this?
Dearing off.
Now how this?
CO2.
This no.
जो भी लाइन में
If there is any air in this line or the oxygenator, or if there is any small air entry that happens from the venous side. If
Otherwise its cap should be tight.
yes, otherwise I'm just coming to that point. So in how this works is that, as you can see, this is located in the top side of the oxygenator. So if any air is coming from the venous side, it will come into this oxygenator, but the air will always have tendency to go to the upper side.
Upper side.
In the upper side, we are having a special port, which only lets air to go out, not fluid. So what happens? This air will come here, and through this port, the air will go out. So hence, it will help us in deairing. So this can be used mainly in 2 times. First one, while we are priming. So during priming, there will be air anyway. So it will help in efficiently removing the air. Next thing is that if there is any air entry from the venous side, if there is any air coming into the oxygenator, you know why it happened, you have fixed it, but there you felt like some air has came in. In such situation, just open this up. Now there are multiple safety features for stopping the air. First thing is this. Other is that if the arterial outlet is kept placed in the lower side, so an air to come to this means that it has to drain the whole fluid that is present inside. Next thing, the oxygenator is a membrane. It will also act as a filter.
तो अगर आर्टरी में फिल्टर आ गया ब्लड में फिर क्या करोगे?
यहाँ पे air. Sir, in venous side, what happens is that it's a negative section. So there is any small opening of the cap or anything happens in the cannula side, air can come in due to the suction. But this is a positive side. Even if you cut it, blood will only come out. Even if you open something.
But then why there is a bubble sensor over here?
Sir, bubble sensor is, for example, sometimes as I said, after 30 days of usage or due to something, you want to check the oxygenator function, and you decided to take a ABG. Now the staff is taking ABG, and we are manually, due to our mistake, human error, pushing air inside. That can happen. Or there is massive air.
करोगे क्या? अगर आ गई तो फिर करना क्या? उसमें तो खोल दिया आपने वो पॉइंट.
हाँ.
इसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
इसमें we have to stop the pump, clamp, and just
फिर इसको निकालना पड़ेगा.
Just open the cannula side. You can tap it. The air will go to the upper part. Or whether, for example, if this pressure monitoring is not working, then you are trapped because you will not get any pressure of this device. But it is important. In such situation, you can always connect a pressure monitoring line into these ports, pre and post ports, and you connect it into the external monitor and get pressures.
ये कनेक्टर उसके हैं.
हाँ, these are ports for that. So
Air should be come from here. If pressure line is connected this,
यहाँ से प्रेशर करेंगे तो प्रेशर सामने आ जाएगा.
ड्यूरेशन और इसमें भी एयर आने के चांसेस हैं.
इसमें
नहीं,
chances
ये तो
कम है.
तो ठीक है, बट ये अगर करें कि अगर ये काम नहीं करेगा, ये प्रेशर आ रहा है, तो आप यहाँ से ले सकोगे प्रेशर.
एयर का इंट्रोडक्शन यहाँ से भी है.
एयर के लिए
यहाँ से
इधर साइड
कम
पे तो वो खोल सकते हो, अंदर साइड में पूरा हटा के करना पड़ेगा.
यहाँ से कम है क्योंकि यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव प्रेशर है. अगर आप ये खोलोगे तो भी बाहर ही
बाहर
आएगा.
की तरफ में पुश होगा.
पर अगर आप इससे कुछ फ्लश कर रहे हो, ऐसे कुछ कर रहे हो और आपने एयर अंदर, यू आर फोर्सिंग इट इन, देन इट विल गो. बट वीनस साइड में ऐसे नहीं है. वीनस साइड में इसीलिए हमने कहीं पे भी कोई पोर्ट्स नहीं दिया हुआ है. और आपने कहीं पे भी खोल दिया, छोटा सा भी कट आ गया, इट विल सक इट इन. because 3 liters, 4 liters, minus 30, minus 40 mmHg, you are sucking the blood from the patient. So we have connected this. We have removed this port because we are going to prime. Now we have checked the battery backup. For priming, we will need priming fluid. Okay, we want. Now this is the bag which is used for priming.
Part of the kit.
ये भी इसके साथ ही आता है।
Everything will come as a kit. Now for easy of my carrying, I have bought it in a suitcase. In our next detailed training, I will be bringing it just like how you will get it. Yeah. So what we will be doing is that we will fill the fluid into this bag. For that we have a spike here. We have a filter here so that the fluid doesn't go backwards. You have a needle or something?
ब्लेड से कर दो मुझे बस
So it is easy if you are using a bag rather than a, yeah.
We have.
So,
Yeah.
That's right.
This thing actually can be done by another person. One person doing the things like assembling and all. So
यानी अभी प्लेसमेंट दोनों वाला
if properly trained, 3 minutes, 4 minutes is the average time required for setting up the machine.
So our CT-based perfusionists are already trained to set it up.
Yes.
They've done 2 already, no?
Yeah, I was there actually.
For both of them.
Yeah. And one was also done in the AB8.
AB8. That was Venus.
That was
So for the AB8 one, they got the perfusionist from CT-based only. How did they get the perfusionist support?
actually I came for the support because it was the
Who
first.
sat there all the time?
Their team itself. Actually, monitoring, technical monitoring is where the perfusionist comes into role. Patient monitoring, we will train like we.
But once you set it up and it's running, after that the perfusionist has to sit.
Sir, it is institutional. In some institution, perfusionists sit.
Then,
In some, most like 80% they don't.
so what happens in 80%?
Only if there is any complication, then we will call them.
Otherwise, it can be managed by a well-trained sister or a technician.
It shouldn't be actually. It is not like I can't.
Normally, you would
give
want
a
a
comment on that.
perfusionist.
Actually, what happens is that if an Ecmo is initiated, even if it is in CTVS, the perfusionist will come. He will initiate it. Then he will be on call support, and during meeting off he will come. And if there is any complication,
He's not sitting there all the time. The perfusionist is not sitting there all the time.
Not always. Not in every institute.
CT से कौन है?
For example,
चार उनके पास 4-5
नहीं वो बैठा रहता है.
6 परफ्यूमिस्ट हैं उनके पास, वो वहाँ बैठे रहते हैं केस ड्यूरिंग केस उनका उनकी प्लेसमेंट है उनकी हर वीक.
depends upon institute, sir. Because for example, a perfusionist, there will be 1 or 2 posts, and they will only like more concentrated on CTVS cases. Now there is an Ecmo case.
Yes.
That means they can't stop the CTVS cases. So he will initiate the case. He will go to the CTVS. He will do the cardiopulmonary cases.
ठीक है तो we'll initiate and we'll shift the patient to this.
Have to have
Till we get it. How long do you need to train them to certify them as perfusionists?
4 years.
Huh?
4 years.
4 years. ठीक है 4 साल में सर्टिफाई हो जाएंगे
Sir, we can restart our process of
Study.
री-एजुकेशन प्रोग्राम शुरू हो जाएगा ठीक है
But in AIIMS, I think there are near to 20 professionals, so I don't know whether it will be a challenge. Yeah, when I was in America, actually students were the the scapegoats.
मीनिंग
Meaning the main professors, they will come and initiate and go, and the students had to sit there for 24 hours. Like
हमारे प्रोफेशनल्स कहाँ से आते हैं उनका ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम है
हमारे पास CTBS में है
ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम है
ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम नहीं है
नहीं सर ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम नहीं है वो
वो कहाँ से
रिक्रूटमेंट उनका एज ए परफॉर्मेंस
सीख के कहाँ से आते हैं
अब कोर्सेज दे आर बीएस जैसे हम BSc MLT कर रहे हैं ऐसे परफॉर्मेंस का कोर्स
कहाँ है
दिल्ली में गलगोटी है
हमारे पास नहीं है
हमारे पास नहीं
there was
कोर्स
MSc
स्टार्ट
in
करते हैं ये तो फिर हो जाएगा
there was MSc actually they discontinued.
इवन बहुत सारे
ठीक है
इंस्टीट्यूट
आगे बताओ
Okay, so now we have 1.5 liters, right?
हाँ 1 2 3
Okay, 1.5 liters of fluid. Now we want to introduce this fluid into this system. I have just kept it as high as possible because there will be good
Good flow.
gravity
Yeah.
draining. Now at the end you can see there is a button. If you click on this button, it will
सेपरेट हो
get separated. Make sure these things are clamped while you are separating it. The same way you can see the same connectors are present on the disposables also. Now you can connect it. It will only connect in the right ones. And once you have connected it,
This is also part of the circuit or
this is just AD loops.
एडिशनल
Actually, yeah, this is basically a port where we use a hand crank when we are transporting because we
During transport.
Yeah. Other than that, we can keep it aside.
like elbow control
Okay. So once you have connected it, as you can see, the bag is connected to the circuit, and this part always remains in the box because you want it sterile. You'll be passing this into the sterile field for connecting into the cannula. Once done, just open the venous and arterial. And what you can see is that
ये switch on the machine or something?
machine is already just on. We have checked the back. Can I get a 3-way cap? A cap. Not an issue.
वो लाल कैप थी ना एक ये
अरे ये ना
नहीं, got it.
किससे करा रहे हैं नीचे वाले को कॉल करना
I forgot to put one cap. Actually, all these caps will come inbuilt like at the start. I removed it during previous training. Okay. This one. Now you can see by gravity from this the fluid is going into the whole circuit, and it comes through the red line into the back. Now what happens is that the air that comes will go into the upper side, and the replacement fluid will be coming in. So once you see that it is no more circulating, you can do it actively using the pump.
तो इसमें ना जो हम पेशेंट से कनेक्ट करेंगे वो वाला वेयर इज दैट सिस्टम
That is inside, sir. Sterile.
ये नहीं मतलब
Now we are not getting any pressures here. What can be the reason?
वो लगाया नहीं ना अपने प्रेशर सेंसर।
Yeah. We removed it during the action. Can you connect it? Now you can see that through this the fluid is getting negatively sucked in, negative pressure that is created by the pump, and then it is going at a rate of circulating at a rate of 5.6
liters
through
per
this,
minute।
and the fluid is coming here. Any air that is present will go and get trapped here. So the air is getting trapped in the bag, and the fluid is replacing all the air or space that is present in the oxygenator.
इसमें डेल्टा अगर देखना हो तो
This is a home screen. The home screen you will only see the most
इम्पोर्टेंट
important or most priority factors. If you want to know anything about the technical, then go to this tab.
अच्छा
Here you can see all the pressures: pre-pump, post-membrane, pre-membrane, temperature arterial, saturation. Now we haven't connected. That will be connected at the last stage. Next, anything related to the patient, you can see it in this tab. There is a test tube. If you can go in, you can get the venous temperature, arterial temperature, that is the return temperature. You can get the venous saturation. You will get the HB of the patient. You will get the hematocrit of the
तो
patient.
ये सिस्टम का हो गया, ये पेशेंट का हो गया, ये होम पेज हो
Home
गया।
page हो गया. This is for transportation. Nothing much. It just only the most important things will be shown. For example, how much venous suction you are creating, how much you are giving to the patient, and what is the venous saturation of the patient. And it will be shown in a magnified way so that it is easily visible. Next comes intervention. This is little important. Now, this machine is actually little more intelligent. For example, it is getting all these values. So if we preset, give instruction to it, it can do like things to prevent the accidents. For example, venous. If you go into the venous, we have limits setting up here. This is a warning sign and this is intervention sign. Now intervention, which means once this limit is reached, we are giving permission to the machine to intervene the therapy. If the pressure reaches minus 100, it will give you an alarm कि your negative pressure is minus 100. If it reaches minus 150, the machine itself will reduce the RPMs and maintain it below minus 150.
ठीक
Same way we are having for P arterial, that is a post membrane, pre membrane. You can set both warning and intervention limit.
Okay, yes, one question is there.
Yeah.
Last previous window, minus 150. We have to check regularly.
No,
सेट करना
In
है।
any case, it will go up again,
yes,
again,
you
150.
can increase to, see, now it is minus 167.
Each and
I'm
every
at
time
5000
machine,
RPM.
each and every time machine will check it and reduce it.
Yes, machine will be real time. In real time,
Each
it
and
will be
every
saying.
time.
Yeah.
So there is no involvement of us. Just we have to.
No, we don't have to. If we have set it, we don't have to do anything. Machine will do it. Then we are having three pressures. For all the three pressures, we are having warning and intervention limits. If intervention is turned on, machine itself will reduce the pressures. That will be done by reducing the RPMs. Now, next thing is venous and arterial bubbles. If any arterial or venous bubble is detected, the machine will give you an alarm. Same way, there is also intervention for arterial and venous bubble also. If an arterial bubble is detected, the machine will stop to prevent the air going into the patient. If a venous bubble is detected and the intervention is on, what happens is that the machine will go into zero flow mode. Now I will say what it is. If the bubble is in the arterial side, there is no obstruction for the bubble. The next site is patient. Now if you are looking at a venous bubble, the venous bubble is coming from the venous line. It has to pass the pump. It has to pass the oxygenator. It has to pass the, if we are opened it up, there is chance that it can go from there. So it is not a very big issue or an urgency. So in such situation, we don't want to stop the pump. What happens when we stop the pump? Let's take it's a VA ECMO. We have stopped the pump. One thing, as sir said, the support is gone. That is one thing. There is another bigger disadvantage that happens is now arterial system will always have a higher pressure, and the venous system will have lower one. And this is centrifugal pump, just like how a fan is. If you rotate it to this side, it will rotate this. If you turn it this side, it will turn this side. So if the machine is not producing any RPMs, the blood will go from the arterial system to the venous system, and there is a chance that the patient can collapse. So we don't want this to happen for something like a venous bubble. So in such situation, the machine will go to zero flow mode. A zero flow mode means if the pump will be stopped, the pump will not give any output into the patient. The bubble will remain the same place, but it will prevent any backflow. That is where the importance of this direction of the flow sensor is. As soon as the pump stops, if there is 100 ml backflow, the pump itself will generate 100 ml forward flow. It will make sure that the balance is there. Yeah. So this prevents collapse of the patient in such scenarios. But when it comes to arterial, even if we stop the pump will be here, the patient will be here, the line will always be in upper side. There is always a risk that even if we stop the pump, the next site is patient. So in such scenarios, the thing is direct stop the pump. So even if there is an air, due to the backflow, the air will not go into the patient. But there is always a danger of backflow and collapse. So that is for arterial, the intervention is pump stop. Venous, the intervention is zero flow mode. So we have discussed the home button, technicals, patient parameters, transport. In intervention,
For
there
pressures.
is for pressures we have discussed,
For bubbles.
and for bubble sensors we have discussed. Now we have timers. For example, when you are starting the therapy, how much time it has taken. You have multiple timers. You also have a stopwatch. For example, you are weaning down on the patient. You have reduced the support to 50%, and you can start the stopwatch and check after 1 hour, then reduce further down to 25 based upon how you want to do it. So that is about the user interface. So during we were talking all this time, this whole system was circulating. Now let's see if there is any air in the system. If you remove the override, we had an override. So when it was override, it will show no alarms. Even if the bubble sensors are connected, it will show no alarm, it will be overridden. Now we have removed the overridden. Now both the sensors are active. Just this is circulating, and you can see it is giving no alarm. That means there is no air in the circuit. It is successfully done. Now sometimes what happens is that even after doing this, as soon as you remove the override, it will give bubble detection. In such situation, again override and rotate it, circulate it at a higher RPM. For example, 4000 RPM for 1 or 2 minutes, and then again remove the override. So by this way, you can make sure that your priming is correct.
Is there any case if at a higher RPM also it will show the buzzer will come again?
If it again comes, just override and do it once more. Just do it.
adapter का रखा ऑक्सीजन में अंदर है
Just do it as many times as possible.
पावर सप्लाई चेक करो इसकी पावर सप्लाई
Raise the
You can increase the RPMs
again and
again and
पावर
again.
सप्लाई जो डिटैच
So
पार्ट्स है ना
once
वो लेबल करके अलग रख सेट
once the priming is done, you can reduce the RPM into 0. Now it is 0. Now it is showing LPM below limit. You can also set limits. You can also set limits for the higher and lower flows. For example, if the flows at any cost reduces below this, the machine should give you a warning. So now the limit
There
was
is no
0.
self-correction over here.
No, for flows there is no self-correction because flows can vary because of different parameters. For example, if the patient is hypovolemic and you have set this intervention or something like that,
सब करेगा फिर।
it will increase the RPM because the machine doesn't know that it is hypovolemic.
ठीक है सर।
So now you can see it is showing minus 0.02. That is because the flow sensor is not calibrated. So to calibrate it, this is the sensor clamp before and after the sensor. Go here. Go to the
Venus, sir.
this is flow actually. V dot is flow. Here you can see 0. Click on 0. It will give you instruction. Is the tube clamped pre and post? Yes. Done. It's 0. Once 0, take one clamp and clamp the venous line. So now the arterial and venous line is clamped. Your priming is it's completely done. Next thing is you have to separate this bag now. Just like how you connected it, you can separate it. Clamp it. Just press it. Press it here. Now the function of this bag is done. It's primed. Now the thing is, make sure you have clamped it because there will be some air here. Next thing, now the machine side everything is done now. Now you want to connect it into the patient. For that, you will take this part which is sterile through all this things we were doing, and we will open this. These tapes are from my side. The tapes that comes with the new kits will be smaller and easy to remove. So once you have removed it, the sterile, for example if it's a nurse, they will receive it. Once they have taken, you can see the same kind of connector here. There will be 2 clamps that is available in this, or you can use another external clamp here, clamp here. Now the nursing side, or the cannulation, whoever is the lead, they will remove it from this side, and this whole part will be discarded. So the air, the unsterile part, everything will be discarded. This box will go with it. Now what will be remaining is these 2 ends with clamp
And the cannulas.
and the cannulas. Now the cannulas won't go into the connectors. Just cut it here.
Just remove it.
There will be scissors provided in the kit.
वो काटना पड़ेगा उसको.
यहाँ से काटना पड़ेगा. Because these connectors won't go into the cannula. First thing. Other thing, using connectors for cannula is, these type of connectors for cannula is not recommended because this can come out, or any small cracks, anything can happen.
So the scissors we have to cut.
Scissors will be for cutting. Scissors will be provided in the kit.
Okay.
One thing, if you are not comfortable with that, you can use blades. Cut this. You will have 2 free ends. Now, as this is clamped here, there you will have to cannulate it. One person flushing some saline, so that there is no air while connecting. Once it is connected, these clamps will be taken, and you will give the instruction, go on ECMO. Once we say go on ECMO, first we will take the venous clamp. By taking the venous clamp first, we have made sure that the machine has preload. Then after that, we will increase the RPM into 1500 to 1600 range. Only after that we will take the arterial clamp. Once the arterial clamp is taken, we will increase the RPM to get the desired flow rates. For example, if you want to give 4 liters support, you will increase the RPM till you get 4 liters. You will check the hemodynamics, and then you are on ECMO. Now one thing to note here is that why is 1500 to 1600 important? I said first we will take venous, we will increase to 1500, 1600, only then take the arterial. As I said, this is just a rotor. Pressure from which side there is more pressure, it will rotate to that side. So at the starting when you take the arterial first, if you directly take the arterial, what happens is the pump is not running and you are taking the arterial. Or the pump, if the RPMs is less than 1000 or in 800 or in 1200 and all, it will be rotating very slowly. So there is a very good chance that the arterial pressure will dominate this.
तो ये भी बताओ इसमें जब वो काटोगे तो ये फिट करेगा, ये कैसे पता चलेगा उसके
Sir,
ऊपर?
all the cannulas will come with standard connectors, 3/8.
उसमें कोई लीकेज के चांस
नहीं. It will be. I will bring the cannulas also.
वो
next
एक बार
time.
दिखाना होगा आपको.
It will be, these tubings are coming in 3/8 size and all the cannulas end will also be 3/8 size.
ओके. क्योंकि आगे वाला एंड तो चेंज होता रहेगा, आप कितने
Yeah,
साइज
it
का ले
depends
रहे हो,
upon the
पीछे
size.
वाला
पीछे
ये
वाला
सेम ही
yes,
रहेगा.
yes.
ओके
आज के बहुत
एक
ज़्यादा हो
हफ्ता
जाएगा.
एब्जॉर्ब कर लेते हैं.
एक सेकंड
अब आप
सेकंड
अपने
पेशेंट
videos
सेंट्रिक
भेज रहे हैं.
करवाइएगा. पेशेंट को कनेक्ट कैसे करना है ये तो समझ गए सारा थे.
आप you send all the videos and everything.
Yes, sir.
to
We
video.
actually have videos made by us. We'll give that to you. That will be more like more compact.
You send it to him, he'll send it to everyone.